Well, hi everybody, welcome along to Speedway Gladiators, the program that looks at Speedway, particularly the Robertson Prestige International Speedway here in Palmerston North. We do it for the compliments of Video Hub. Coming up in the program tonight, by the way, happy Easter. Hope you got your Easter eggs all sorted out. Coming up in the program tonight, we catch up with the organisers of the Streetstock Series. We also look at last year's highlights of the Manawatu Sprint Cars. We look at the highlights of the Brent Lowe Memorial, also happening this weekend. Streetstock Series happening this weekend. We caught up with the organisers and found out what it was like and how difficult it was to put this whole thing together for this weekend.
Here to talk today about this Tri-Series you got going. 5 years, man. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's definitely been a road to success, really. We started with an idea and it's come to what it is now. Yeah, it's pretty cool. When me and Shane sort of started racing street stocks, it was a very similar time, and we met up in Auckland at a 290s event. We followed across the line, smoking our engines, and we had a big laugh about it, and sort of become best mates ever since. And it was that following year, we knew we had Miani and Rotorua, and then we jacked up with Bruce to try and get that third night. And we just thought, I wonder if we could do 3 nights in a row, and we managed it. And it was definitely pretty hard for me that year. We got a good concussion. I actually had 5 months off work after that, but it was a good feat, and we decided that, well, this is us, so this is going to be our legacy.
How hard is it to keep your cars sort of maintained over the 3 nights?
Oh, it's extremely hard. It definitely takes its toll on the drivers, the crew, and everybody. Some years we've worked through the night and still only just made it to the next track. It is hard, fast racing. It's probably the only event where you get 26 people helping 26 people.
How did you get the South Island boys on board?
That was probably more Shane's idea, to be fair. Well, originally we probably only just scraped through enough cars, and then Shane said, let's invite some of the South boys, and I didn't really know them at that point. And I guess Shane a little bit more on that about who we got and why we got them.
The likes of the guys from Dunedin and that, we had a yarn. Being one of the bigger South Island clubs, we sort of looked at it and we're like, well, they should have a reasonably decent contingency to come to this meeting, so we had a bit of a yarn around it and worked out who we thought were the guys that deserved it, and here we are, We got guys like Mitch, who come up all the way up to the Manawatu Champs a few years ago. Just a one-off, cool meeting. But, made that effort to come all the way up here that time. That's all the main meetings,
These guys are coming up for the love of the sport.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. That's the hard part, is that there is no prize money. It's all trophies and all that sort of stuff. It's crowd-funded, realistically. But there's a few sponsors there, but this chap here, he probably puts a good chunk of it in himself out of his own pocket,
Yep.
I contribute what I can. Guys like Al, Tony at McIntyre, those guys, they all chip in, but ultimately it all has to come together as a huge group of people to make this work.
It's about getting a whole lot of good guys together, hard, fast racing, and just getting stuck in and showing the crowd what street stocks are in New Zealand.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's definitely to push the class and show what people can do and how good the racing can be and how quick and competitive these cars are. There's no slow cars. These cars. They haven't been invited because they're the fastest cars. They're invited because of what they do for the sport. And there's no question, this year is the toughest field we've probably ever had. There is the best of the best. There isn't one slow driver.
Tell us a little bit about Aussie Spears, mate. This is a shout out that I have to do.
That's probably. I'm sponsored by Paul as well. Shane knows that guy a lot better than I do, so it's probably a good one for him.
Yeah. So Paul's been around forever and a day. He actually started with his old man, which the meeting after Easter is the Huntley one.
Yep.
For DK. So Keith was men's night promotions and all that jazz. And Aussie Spears as well. And then Paul been tied up with a lot of the street stock boys from this area in particular. So mostly Waikato. He's based in Hamilton.
Yep.
But yeah, just genuine good sort.
He, like you said, he sponsors anyone and everyone. You don't have to be the fastest of fastest cars. He is just genuine. He just loves the street stock class.
Yeah.
And he loves helping people out, which is quite cool fitting with you guys.
Yeah.
Because exactly what you boys are like as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Paul helps anyone that'll help anyone else as well. He's one of those guys that just passes it on. He just, I don't think there's anyone in street stocks, or tied up with street stocks, that would have given more than he has. Oh, and if you're interested in racing one, you want to, you're interested in getting into Speedway and you want to race something contact, but you don't want to spend $100,000 on a stock car, well, come take the yarn to us. There's heaps of options. On it, if you're got kids or whatever and they want photos, all that sort of jazz, they want to sit in one, go hard. You know, like none of them will say no.
Thank you so much for coming here with my Sean Cave, bro. What you guys actually done for me and what you do for Speedway and Street Stocks.
Street Stocks on the program this weekend. Let's catch up on the highlights of the Streeties from last year.
Right, not only is this the feature race to count towards the overall series points, this is a winner-take-all Manawatu Championship. First three across the line is your podium for the Manawatu title. Now we already got one spun out, that's the 87B car. Already been spun here, David Adams. Out in front though, Jason Dunn. But Jackson White in behind, although it looks like he's been spun there. Daniel Curran, your race leader. Oh, he's going to fire it into the wall almost like he did earlier. Curran gets to the front though. 806 in the second spot there, Rusty Franklin. Rusty's been spun up now. Corey Torito into second. One race final for the Manawatu title. Look at Brent Reddington. He's already halfway through the field, the 46B car from the back. Oh, we've got a road cone on the track as well here too, across the start-finish line. It's been picked up by a few of them. Hopefully someone can brush that to the infield. It's been stuck under one of the cars now. Taking it for a ride. Rusty Franklin, a lap down, because your race leader is the 12R of Daniel Curran. Corey Torito in behind. Phil McNamara. In third, Darren Melling. Now up into the fourth spot. Torito to the outside. Jackson White has held up Daniel Curran here, and Torito goes through to the lead. Jackson White there held up Curran a wee bit. So Curran in second now. Halfway point of the race. It is the 11A, Corey Torito. Quick here for a Manawatu title. Darren Melling to the inside of Daniel Curran, the 12R. Oh, and he's got collected here by Melling. So Curran gets picked up by Melling. Has to haul it up there. He's back on track. Just lost the one spot, but here's Phil McNamara now to the outside. And Curran's dropped to fourth off the podium. Torito leads it from Melling, McNamara, and Curran's dropped back to fourth. We lost McNamara. Yeah, the 9B with some problems. So that's given Curran the podium back. 2NZ, he's locked on with Rusty Franklin. Stuck on the infield, those two. So Corey Torito will get the white flag. This next time past the start-finish line, he's got Darren Melling right in front of him, right behind him too. This being the one race final for the Manawatu Champs. Torito's going to take the white flag, the 11A, your race leader, Darren Melling. Now Melling's the race leader. Torito's led it basically from the start, but Melling's taken the lead on the last lap. The 72 car out of Hawke's Bay. Oh, Torito's got problems. The smoke's on. Can he jog it across the line? Darren Melling will take the Manawatu title. Torito in second, and it will be Daniel Curran in third. Paul Leslie, the New Zealand champion, will come home. So Dave McSherry will come home in fourth. Paul Leslie in fifth, and Shane Bracken in sixth. Bracken from the rear of the field.
This weekend is the Brent Lowe Memorial. We lost Brett about 8 years ago, and many stock car drivers here in Palmerston North want to get their name on that trophy. Let's go back 12 months and look at the highlights of last year.
He looks like he's into block mode, is he? With the 172 single wing, we got the greens. The Puma 123 at the moment is how they start. Can they finish like that though? Burmester down low, he lets Lamp through. He lets Rebecca Barr through as well. We've already got a couple of cars spun up. Prescott's down on the pole line as well, smoking up the 175 tank. Lamp leads it from Barr. Prescott's on the pole line though, still Taylor Lamp leading it from Rebecca Barr. Then we go back to the 12 of Hodds. Oh, we've got Prescott taking one out and spun another one up. And the 175 tanks smoking. Alex Moore's in the wall here. Got tagged by Righty Robertson, tries to back it out, gets out of the way. Hodgie's been taken to the infield by Burmester. Nathan Black's got Courtney Haddon into the wall. Sam Prescott's got a couple of cars held up. Taylor Lamb around the outside of a lot of them. Same with Rebecca Barr. Burmester's back on the pole line. He's not mucking around. Straight back into it. He's got the tow man this time. Had to yield out of it to avoid those parked cars. Alex Moore's going after the 44. Not sure why. There's cars. Oh, Aaron Watson's been spun round. Reds are on. Got another car up the wall, do we, down the far end. How's that though? Burmester, top point scorer, starts from pole, not mucking around, straight on the pole line to help the team out.
Well, the reality is, if you aren't going to get anywhere near the podium,
The thing is, though, Dave,
you look and see who else you can get on
the thing though, Dave, is he had a first and a second in qualifying. He started off pole. He's a top point scorer.
Yep.
It's a one-race final, and you're starting on pole. You've got every chance of getting into the final, getting on the podium, don't you?
But if you don't, then help out your mates.
Exactly. And I think the thing that Burmester said, I've won it before. Oh, we've got one in the wall here, almost tipped up. Burmester's answer, I've won it before. I've been second and third before. Let's decide who gets on the podium this time. And he's got two in the wall. He's actually got one up. He's got one up. He's taken his mate Gemma Holloway out. We go green. So Taylor Lamp is the leader. Kyle Lamp now into second. There's the orange car flying around. A lot of them. There he is, coming into turn 1 and 2 with 5 laps to go. Up the inside of Hatton. Just squeezes on through. His brother Kyle into second. Wayne Verco, something went pop on the 16. Now Daniel's got the 52 in his sights. Puts him to the wall. This time he's got Neil Coley held up with 3 to go. Make it 2 to go for Taylor Lamb. Bailey Chapman, he's got the 4 of Hatton up the wall. Holloway had nowhere to go in that one. Brendan Lemont off and away on the 174. White flag this time round. Taylor Lamb, he is lapped up to 4th place. So Taylor Lamb is going to come out of turn 4. Taylor Lamb is going to take the Brent Lowe Memorial. The 992 takes the win. Kyle Lamp, his brother, comes home in second for a Lamp 1-2. McNabb's up the wall. Oh, could this open the door for Tony Norman? Can Tony Norman pick up a third here? Tony Norman, thanks to Daniel Burmeister, has picked up 3rd place. Wade McNabb is up the wall on the last bend. It's a Lamp 1-2. Burmester sorts the results out for us. Thank you very much. And Tony Norman is blasted through. Grid 24 to 3rd. Kyle Lamp, grid 22 to 2nd. Taylor Lamp obviously was from 3. But Daniel Burmester, top point scorer, started from pole. And he said, you know what? I don't need a podium here, Dave. What I need to do is stir it up a bit.
Amanda McDonald is Brett's sister. She has taken over the 92P stock car with Brett's daughter, and they've formed a bit of a team. We caught up with them at the track and asked them how all this came about. Something very special is happening this weekend. It's the Brent Lowe Memorial for stock cars. Brent Lowe was a very, very popular driver here some years ago, sadly passed, but we've decided to find out a little more about Brent, his love of stock cars, and what's happened since he's passed. Well, would you believe it? Big Sis has got involved in the stock car as well. That's Amanda McDonald. Amanda, it's amazing. It's a family thing.
It's a family thing.
You're involved. How did it come about? What made you decide?
So obviously when he passed, we didn't want to bar of the sport. We didn't want kind of too many memories.
Yes.
Fast forward, this one here actually kept on wanting his car back, and the opportunity arose, and we got it back. Took a year getting it sorted and brought it back out on track, and here we are.
So what motivated you to jump into the car? I mean, to keep the memory alive, sure, I can understand that. But you must have had, what were you thinking? Were you looking forward to it? Were you nervous?
Nervous, 100%. I jumped back in the car solely to kind of keep his memory alive. Like after time has passed and people move on, and we have this one here who kind of didn't know whether she was into going into a stock car. I says, "Oh no, your dad would not have that." So Hamish and I, embarked on the journey to pretty much bring some life back to the Speedway for Riley.
I didn't know him that well. I met him a couple of times, but boy, oh boy, when he got out on the track, if he wanted to put somebody away, he'd put them away.
Yeah, he had a very specific way of letting people know when chaos was happening or mayhem was happening.
Yes.
He would put on a different colour body, and he would go out there and he would turn right.
Yes.
On anyone and everyone. It didn't matter who you were, he turned right.
So when you went out for your first race,
Yeah.
and what were your thoughts?
My thoughts were, I have a big boots to fill, but I'm not him. Yeah. So I think the expectations for me to get on that track straight away and do what he did was very daunting. We couldn't be out here doing it without Brent's racing family that's just embraced us. So all
the
those
whole
people.
family's in behind from
it's not
grandma.
Grandma, but I'm talking about like the moment we came into these pits, the amount of people that raced with him that were just stoked to see the car back, and have helped us out immensely. So there is all of those guys. Like we wouldn't be here.
It's a family, isn't it?
It's 100%. Yeah.
Riley, Auntie Amanda is in the stock car now, and you got a very, very special dad. You did some wonderful things here at the track, and you were the manager.
Yeah.
Are you training her? What are you doing to get her better?
She ripped my L plate off my car. That's enough. It's gotta go.
and that's a good start, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's always fantastic when the Brent Lowe Memorial comes around, because I don't think there's a driver in Palmerston North that does not want to win that trophy. So have you got any sort of last words for Auntie Amanda before the weekend? It's only a few days to go now.
Probably try hardest.
Yes.
Crash into people. Don't ruin the car too much.
No, just so we can fix it for the next week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Amanda, you've had a season, nearly a full season. How do you rate yourself? How do you think you've gone from night one to now?
It is a hard place to be. It was very hard. It's hard sitting in the seat. It's hard sitting where he sat. It's hard trying to fulfil those boots. And I'll never fill them because they're his boots. And he can keep those boots because that guy was nuts. In my opinion, he was madness.
Now, you've got a little thing in the back window, which you might try and get a wee bit of film on a little bit later. It's a Tasmanian Devil?
Yes.
Where did that come from?
That was Brent's.
It
was Brent's.
Did he race with it?
Absolutely. It was in his car all the time. It's got weld scolds on it. This one had been keeping it safe for all these years.
Yes.
And for some reason, we hoarded the body in his wing for all these years. I don't know. Call it an inkling.
Yep.
We knew someday we were coming back here. Didn't know who.
Yes.
Didn't know when, why, how. We just knew we'd be back.
Yes.
And Taz kind of represented chaos for him. He was that little Tasmanian devil that hooned around and just wrecked everything.
But he was always so funny to watch. I mean, as a personality, he must have had a lot of humour.
Oh, very much.
With him, because, I mean, I only saw him on the infield and saw him as a driver. Just his driving and what he did was enough to give you a bit of a grin and a bit of a laugh. You thought, what the hell did and you never knew what he was going to do.
It wasn't just his driving, it's his repairs. Yeah. We are still finding awesome repairs from, he was... let's get out there, do whatever it takes, just weld it if we have to, and so everything's...
Just to get out for the weekend.
Yeah, everything's breaking around all his repairs.
Yes.
But it's made life a bit hard for us. But it's also a laugh. When we come across it, we're like, classic. Classic, we wouldn't expect anything less. So whatever it took to get that car back out for the next race is what he would do.
Okay, as far as racing is concerned, if you were to sum him up in one word, as far as racing and what he was like in a stock car, what would that be?
Nuts and cheeky.
And never trust him.
No, don't trust him. There's a reason that he had always turned right everywhere, and it's because that was his motto that he wanted to live by. So it's on the bottom of his t-shirts that we have here, and he always used to hashtag his posts on Facebook, always turn right. So he was a fan of turning right. So
Well, I think you're doing very, very well. Thank you, guys. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Well, the Brent Lowe Memorial's this weekend. It's what they call the Mayhem as well. We're used to seeing Christian Hermansen in a mini sprint. He's taken 3 New Zealand titles, endless Manawatu podiums as well. This year, he's in a sprint car, the 99M sprint car. He's living in Auckland. He's registered to Tauranga, and he's coming here this weekend. The sprint cars are coming back. I'm not sure whether we've had sprint cars this year. I don't think so. But also coming back is Christian Hermansen. Now, everybody will say, oh, he's the bloke from the mini sprints. Yes, but what has he done? Did he get the mini sprint, put some fertiliser on it, put some water on it, and suddenly miraculously it grew into a sprint car? Not sure, but we've got him with us tonight. Christian, mate, good to see you. When was the last time you drove around Palmy?
Well, yeah, good. Thanks for having me, Dave. It's good to be back and talking to someone from Palmy, and the track looks pretty good behind you. Looks like exactly what I was sort of expecting, so that's good to see. Last time I raced in Palmy was probably about 5 years ago.
Let's go back further for when you started. The mini sprint, you've been very successful in that. Was there anything before the mini sprint?
Yeah, so I started racing mini stocks very, very long time ago now, probably 2005. I just had my 32nd birthday the other day, so really starting to tick up into the age, but started racing mini stocks all those years ago.
So when did you come out of the mini stock, and did you go straight into the mini sprint?
Yeah. So we did the 5-year apprentice in the mini stock class. Did a lot of racing at Palmy through that as well, and the mini sprint class had just started in Palmy, and we sort of wanted something that raced mostly in Palmy, with being able to kind of travel on top of that. Yeah, Dad and I sort of made the decision to do something that was a bit closer to home, and open wheel had always appealed to us. And
so where did the sprint car come from? Was it something you always wanted to get into, or did it suddenly come up, the opportunity arose, and you thought, right, I'll grab it?
When I finished racing, we were sort of looking at the Super Saloon class, but probably my heart's always been in the open wheel category. Sprint car is, kind of the dream come true for me. But also the opportunity came about kind of at the last minute this year, thanks to Jeff Harper, who's, my car owner up here in Auckland for HLR Racing, Jeff and Suzanne Harper. I was actually sitting watching Bathurst in October, so reasonably late in the piece, just before the season kind of started. Like the practices and all that were just starting to fire up, and got this sort of random phone call, and I thought I'll give them a call back on Monday and whatever else, and it was actually Jeff who had heard sort of that I was living in Auckland, and was aware of kind of the pedigree and that kind of thing from the past, and when it had a meeting with him, and here we are. We've ended up running a season for him in the 99M sprint car. I remember back to the very first time I drove the sprint car, because we didn't really get any of the practices or anything in. We were just straight into first night at Bay Park, which is obviously also the fastest track in the country for sprint cars. And it's been a very steep learning curve this year, because the class is in a very, very good place. There's a lot of very, very talented drivers who have been doing it for years and years and years. So to be a rookie and come into it racing against the likes of Rodney Wood and Jamie McDonald, Dean Brindle, Jonathan Allard, even my old mate Jamie Larson, who him and I have had lots of battles over the years and all that sort of thing. And racing against guys and girls like that, it's a very, very competitive field.
What's been the highlight so far of the season?
The highlight for us has been an easy one. We've actually had a feature win this year. We actually won a round of the Outlaw Sprint Car Masters up here at Waikaraka Park, which was very, very cool. Well,
Palmy is, of course, a narrower track than some of the other tracks, certainly Bay Park. And looking at the list of drivers that are coming down this weekend, there's going to be a lot of 2 wide, 3 wide stuff going on, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if the track looks pretty juiced up behind you there. So that's pretty exciting.
Going around in the water truck right now.
Yeah, I can see him over your shoulder. Yeah. So thanks Park and Bruce. They always prepare a great track and all that sort of thing. So there's never any worries there. And I think even there's a new surface this year which looks pretty racy. Obviously I was down for teams champs and all that sort of thing, and yeah, the track looked awesome. So looking forward to that. Like I say, there'll be, without having seen a list, to be honest, there will be at least probably 5 or 8 people who could, win or be on the podium on Saturday night. Like I say, I'm really looking forward to, racing at my sort of home track, and it's cool to be bringing the sprint car to Palmy, and I really can't thank Jeff and Suzanne Harper enough for the opportunity they've given me to drive the 99M. Yeah, really can't overstate how much I'm looking forward to racing at Palmy on Saturday night.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing you, mate. Thanks for your time, Christian. All the very best, mate, and we'll catch you up on the weekend. All the best.
Awesome. Thanks, Dave.
There he is, Christian Hermansen. We know him in the mini sprint. He's done so well in the mini sprint, taken Manawatu titles. He's done 3 1NZs in the mini sprint, now in the sprint car. How will he do at Palmerston? First time we got the sprint cars this season. The sprint cars are back for the first time this season. Let's go back 12 months for the Manawatu Sprintcar Champs.
About to face the chalk line. Caution lights are out. We're about to light up the V8 beasts as they drop the green this time. Good start on the outside for the 6K of Dam. Dam immediately goes to the high line. Use the back wheel off the fence. Wow, you can't get any wider than that. But it is McDonald out in front, the 71A car. Look at that move up the inside now for second place. Forcing his way through. The sticker up 82A car. Jamie Larson, that was so quick. That move happened in the blink of an eye. He had to make the move. He's got to chase down the 71 at McDonald. 14.00 for McDonald. We're going to see some fast lap times as he starts to lift that inside front wheel. Larson, McDonald, 13.98. 13.8 now, getting quicker, winding it up like a rubber band. Bracken now just slowly starting to go away a little bit. Haven't been able to go quicker than 13.8. Still McDonald in front, running through past that lap traffic. The 27 car at Battersby is the first one to go down the lap. Now we see Larson and the 82 car have to go the high line and go the long way around 3 and 4 to make that work. Larson is closing in this time on McDonald. McDonald just got a little bit out of shape off turn 4 on that previous lap, and now that he's working through lap traffic, it's giving an opportunity for Larson to close the gap. Keep an eye on that battle as the dust flies here around this bowl at Arena Manawatu. Half race distance already in this feature. Now the battle is on. Side by side, McDonald and Larson. Larson's on the inside, new race leader. Jamie Larson from Auckland took the inside line. Look at McDonald steaming around the outside. There's no room there. This is insane sprint car racing as McDonald has gone back to the front. He took his life in his hands right there. Flat wheeled up against the wall as he made a move on the outside of Larson and got it done. Retook the lead in the high Koki 71. Keep an eye on McDonald scything through this traffic. Goes back up to the high line at 3 and 4. Goes around the outside, smoking up the right rear, makes the move. We've got 5 laps to go. Larson, second spot, still trying to stay with the race leader. There's a little bit of fresh air between the next lap car and the race leader. McDonald continues on, running that high line. He's got 3 cars immediately in front of him and they're running side by side. We again pick up the race leader down past commentary. They're going so quick it's hard to keep up with where the race leaders are. We can see down into turn 3 now, running that high line around the outside. Jamie McDonald, 1 to go. White flag is out. McDonald's right up high, almost got into the wall. Larson almost had an opportunity right there. It's the final corner. We are going to go green, white, checker in the Auto Super Shop Sprint Car Masters final. What's going on here? Larson is on the track still.
He's crossed the line. The race is done. The checker is out. He completed it. McDonald ended up on the infield. And now he might not even know if he's finished yet.
Well, that's the program. Thanks for joining us on the program. Nothing next week because, of course, we've got a break here in Palmerston North, but then we're back in 2 weeks' time. And the King of the Arena in stock cars, as well as the Manawatu Superstock Champs and other things as well. Have a great couple of weeks. Take care.